Okay, welcome back. Things sometimes just get complicated, and this was one of those things. A Raging Storm, one of the many TCS titles, Tactical Combat System or Series or whatever it's called. And, I picked this copy up from a long-time TCS player who was cleaning out his collection because he was going to go live in a van and travel around the country and do crazy things. And Art, I think, has since changed that and decided to settle in Hawaii. So, hey, Art, if you're watching ever and you ever want to buy this back from me because you want it, you're welcome. I've kept it in good nick and I have not messed up your fantastic organization of counters. Anyway, A Raging Storm. So a couple of things. There is some follow-on errata that I just found this morning, literally, while I was trying to solve another rules question that I had about the scenario setup for 5.5, which is called Scotland Forever. It's a short thing, 12 turns, starts at 2300, so we're going to be doing night rules, which if I probably had have read the scenario details before I got all the pieces out, I probably would not have played that just because it slows things down a little bit, but it also, in some ways, also makes the game play go a little faster. So we're really only going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7 turns. It's 7 or no less. Shoot, 6 turns of daylight. So I think this is going to be a fairly aggressive, probably fits my gameplay strategy, since I'm always impatient with this system and attack too quickly. Anyway, so Germans come on where the arrow is, 2 battalions basically. So the 1st 147th and 2nd 147th come on, and their goal is to capture these towns, these locations. This is a high point here, 94 feet. Then there's some little villagey, housey bits and pieces that need to be captured. Fine, that's all good, right? But not a lot of turns, so we're obviously going to have to progress the game during night. Things are going to have to happen at night. We can't get it done in 6 turns in daylight. And so while I was reading, I was like, usually the scenario will tell you what the implemented order sheet is, and unfortunately there is none for this and other other scenarios that are of a similar size. I'm just going to flick back through here. So scenario 5.4, the Duke of Boots stand their ground. It clearly says all the units are on a prepared defensive op sheet within their area that they're supposed to be in. Does not say that in this, which leads me to believe either it's an error that no one's picked up and it hasn't been put in the errata, which I find highly unlikely given how anal most of the TCS players are. Love all of you. But someone would have picked that up, I think, if I assume someone played the scenario, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't find on the next scenario, 5.6, any reference to sheets, implemented sheets either. So that's a little concerning that some of them have them, some don't. And I'm wondering if this is a play balance thing or if it's representative of the history. And, because some of these guys, the Scots Guards, were not particularly, or the forces overall were not anticipating, is what I'm trying to say, a counterattack, particularly at night and particularly at this juncture of the battle as it's progressed at Anzio, right? So there's a little hesitation here from me, which has led to most of, I went to church and stuff today and other bits and pieces. So now it's sort of late afternoon and I'm back at it, but I've posted some questions. I can't post on BGG still since I'm gloriously banned there from posting anything but videos because, that gets ads watched. So here I am. We're sort of pondering what to do. And of course, Claystone jumped in and said, dude, make your own scenario up and just go for it. And you know what? I'm like, let's just get on with this. Otherwise, it's going to sit here for a week and I will become disinterested and we'll pack it up and nothing will happen. So 5 minutes to say we're going to go with hasty defense here, and I'm going to rejigger my positioning now that I know that I'm not going to be dug in. But so that's going to be the implemented op sheet, but I'm going to be baking, as of 2300, a PD, prepared defense op sheet for these guys, so that they have the potential to convert to prepared defense. Obviously, we'll be having attack orders for the Germans over here, and I've got a rough plan for their attack plan. And clearly, this is one plan, one run. We're not, we won't be having any other op sheets available to these guys. So we're going to run along this gully as best we can, and maybe set up our infantry guns on this high point here. Run along this gully, and then I want to bring first and second companies out to take Mausoleo and press in on this direction. These are two Bren carriers. Oh, you can't see. Haha. All right, so let me get a little closer. So the gully area, and then there's the two Bren cars will probably end up moving, but this is a supporting defensive position for these guys, which are down in a little bit of a gully here, so they can shoot at units that are coming for the little village, little hamlet. And there's some more supporting units there. And then the goal would be that third company would be the somewhat of a reserve, but not in reserve mode, and they would then press on across the map and potentially try and take out all the mortars that I've got stashed over there out of the way. They're a prime target, but someone's got to spot them right. So unless it's a reference point TRP that they could hit, I suppose they could. Anyway, so that's their plan for the 1st Regiment. 2nd Regiment, pretty much, given that I have access to this portion here of what appears to be the Grenadier Guards map area or operational area, I'm thinking I'm going to try and cut across these gullies and then come at Valletta this way around, right? I may not have enough time to do that. Who knows? I'm going to have to do some MP counting just to get a feel for it, to make sure it's a viable option. And if it's not, then we'll just go straight up the guts, up the street and into town, and let's see what we get to happen. I'm going to stage all of the artillery and infantry guns in this little town, looks like a church, doesn't it? This little building right here, this little hex here, partially protected hex, and they'll provide some supporting fire. The engineers who provide assault bonuses when they assault, they will probably run with 2nd Battalion of the 147th. I think that makes most sense, and we'll insert them as needed into the battle. That's these guys here. They're going to run with these guys. So we'll probably put one per company, and kind of go for it from there. And we've got some mortars as well. A lot of arty in the game. Not a lot of ammo, but a lot of arty. So we'll take advantage of that. There is a preparatory barrage that gets to happen. So we'll run that bad boy. What else is there? I think that's it. Oh, infiltration move. So that's where even in the full campaign, there's this infiltration move where, because it was a surprise, and because the Germans were specially trained, they get basically 3 moves before the game starts. And so, we're going to do that. We'll see, and I think that will allow something to develop and evolve in the scenario anyway, because it's going to be pretty tricky getting everybody into the map and into battle within just a 12-turn scenario. Now, the little white crosses you can see in the distance, that's the map edges. So I think trying to surf the edges in the south here is a little bit cheesy, particularly given we've got the Grenadier Guards there, but I'm not sure which way they're facing historically, so, is what it is. So we'll adjust this, do the prep arty, There's a big rocket barrage, so we want to try and spread these guys out, but then we also want to try, as the Germans, to get as many of these dudes as possible. And this gully is interesting. There's some special rules for it in terms of being able to shoot in and out of it. You've got to be adjacent to the target. But anyway, and there's quite a few attached units, as you can see. There's MGs and infantry guns, bits and pieces. All right, there you have it. TCS. Who knew that could take 10 minutes? All right, talk to you soon.